Of course, before the nightclub, the crowd was more because people had a reason to come in.
豪杰大厦计划转型，转型过程中，豪杰大厦得克服哪些困难？
我比较要挑比较适合的租户啦，我不随便给他们进了，因为这个地点哪里随便进也是不是办法。
2年前，豪杰大厦管理层决定对大楼进行整体翻新，转型成为亲家庭的购物中心。当一座曾经夜店林立的大厦决定改头换面，哪些挑战会接踵而至？从娱乐业向亲家庭的餐饮购物体验转型，大厦单位的各个业主要如何应对这巨大的变革？
那个是类循环式油烟空气净化机，这个是走水的啦，它的操作不需要排气管，它声量比较小，就像一把大的风扇这样。
所以你装了这个就是方便请那些卖吃的进来租啦。
对，是啊，他们很有兴趣，因为他们每个都碰到油烟的问题嘛，尤其是做当厨师的，一看到这个他们很高兴。
经过一番周折，我终于辗转找到一位愿意发声的业主，听听看豪杰大厦转型背后的故事。
他之前是租给做 pub 的，跟 KTV。
原本的租户是 pub 跟 KTV 嘛？
对，是的。
像他们有没有找你商量说怎么办呢？因为生意那时候做不下去。
哦，不可以啊，没有办法的，因为他们喝业也是完了嘛，而且这个不是我们能够做些什么嘛，政府要转型，我们都要配合政府的策略嘛。所以我们这真是找租户才2、3个月，因为我比较要挑比较适合的租户啦，我不随便给他们进了，因为这个地点哪里随便进也是不是办法了。这边是黄金地带的，而且主要这边是旅客多。而且有一点是上班族办公室很多，上班族也是都有来这边来吃啊。隔壁我租给那个100年的咖啡老店，这边是补汤，会比较属于家庭式的啦。
1973年落成的豪杰大厦集住宅、办公、购物于同一屋檐下。然而近几年，这里却因频发的犯罪和扰民事件频频登上新闻版面。为了整顿大厦内的非法活动，警方2022年重拳出击，宣布不再为大厦内的夜间场所更新公共娱乐执照。这一纸禁令，使得豪杰大厦不得不走上转型之路。
之前因为不同的业主，可能因为他们没法租掉他们的店面，所以他们就朝向不同的这些夜店开始租，所以久而久之，这个豪杰大厦就慢慢的多了这些夜店。然后经过了这些年，我们觉得可能乌节路缺乏的是一些家庭式的商场。然后还有最近警察的政策，觉得我们需要开始去监督那些所谓要到豪杰大厦做生意或者开店面的，都会注意一下，都会确保他们要开的店面做的生意，就是符合我们的所谓的这个标准。
刚才从底层1楼走到了4楼，然后看到了现在的豪杰大厦，有不少单位，就像我身后的这个单位一样是空置着的，而且大门除了是贴着招租公告之外，有些已经有装修商在里头忙着进行装修了。那正在营业的单位，比较多的都是在卖吃的，也有看到了裁缝店、古董店，甚至是面向小朋友增益班的一些学校。虽然人流量没有那么多，但是整个地方确实是散发着一股蓄势待发的氛围的。
So we have been here for about 1 month plus. I think business is actually picking up. Yeah, but as you can see, the traffic here is still quite low. Yes, but I can also see that there are actually more tenants moving in.
So of course, we notice the difference in the crowd over here. I mean, other than the consistent ones, which are the office crowd. So the passing by crowds here are different because of the closing of the pubs.
The reason I came here because there's a Orchard Tower. They say revamp the thing is better because of upstairs there's a church. All the things is coming. So I hope for that to do can see some business.
To be really honest, the pull factor here was really the rental. It was really, I feel, was lower than a lot of the other places that we have seen.
So business is still a bit slow here. We rely mainly on our regular customer base, but hopefully with the changes of the new tenants moving in and the church coming over, so we hope to see a fresh phases of crowds over here, which will help to enhance our business.
So your regulars, you've moved to Orchard Towers.
Yes,
What's their reaction?
there's no reaction.
I think a lot of the comments we get was like, "Hey, where's Orchard Towers? I never come before." Yeah.
入夜后的豪杰大厦曾经人声鼎沸，但如今随着转型计划的推进，这里的夜晚正经历着前所未有的改变。那些仍然营业至深夜的商家，如今看到的是怎样的光景？
What's the operating hours of your gym?
7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay, so after 6 p.m. onwards to about 11 p.m., how is the night look of Orchard Towers now?
It's quiet.
Oh, really?
But the F&B will be more busy. For this mall itself, I think if you notice certain shop, they close at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. Yeah. One thing I like is the privacy aspect of this location because our client itself prefer a more private area. This place is surprisingly very quiet itself, peaceful, not like the last time that people will approach you. But of course, if the nightclubs is beside me, of course there's an issue. But right now there's no nightclubs itself.
But since coming into this unit up to now, is there an increase in your clientele or is there no change at all?
Yeah, increase in clientele, like about 20 to 25%.
I start at 11 to 10:30 because like here, especially like after 7, there's totally no crowd. Of course, before the nightclub, the crowd was more because people had a reason to come in.
Orchard Towers, because compared to the rest of Orchard, it has the lowest rent. Yeah, when I heard about the church coming in, right, I heard from some of the tenants that their rents are increasing. The vacant units even. My shop's operating like 2 to 10 p.m. I think it's actually better to do like in the late evening till night because there are not much like nightclubs running around like in the building. There's only like one left and there's a lot of like food place around here. So it's actually pretty safe and like I mean, although there are like some tourists maybe come down, they still think that Orchard Towers are like the same few years back, right? But yeah, sometimes they just enter and ask me about like is there any nightclubs and all, but I just told them like, there's no more.
基本上现在我们面对的只有2个比较困难的业主，一个就是夜店的，还在继续操作的，另外一个就是我们觉得是有类似非法按摩的服务的店面还在操作。我们对这2个业主也是有进行沟通，可是没达到一定的协议，所以他们还在继续操作。
目前大厦里仍有至少4间提供按摩服务的店铺，我们无法确认大厦管委会代表提到的违法业者究竟是哪一间。而在夜店方面，豪杰大厦的所有夜间场所已在2023年8月1号全面停业或转换执照，除了一家正在上诉的业者。我们设法采访到这家夜店的经理，对方虽然出于顾虑不愿上镜，但他透露夜店生意大受打击，如今只能以酒吧的形式继续营业，不能为顾客提供现场娱乐。谈到上诉的原因，他认为警方向豪杰大厦的所有夜店停发公共娱乐执照是双重标准，因为酒客酒后闹事在其他夜店场所也时而有闻，却并未因此被令停业。这家夜店针对执照的上诉过程已经历时将近2年，我们对此向颁发公共娱乐执照的新加坡警察部队发出询问。警方回复说，申请正在待办中，其他则不愿置评。
根据我的观察，在转型当中的豪杰大厦呢，连夜晚的面貌有所不同，几乎是找不到来夜店狂欢的人，可是多了一些喜欢吃泰国餐的朋友们哦。那以往在太阳下山之后呢，可以在大厦的门口的这条街看到不少的性工作者沿街做生意，可是现在连一个性工作者都找不到了。而且根据我掌握到的可靠消息呢，这些性工作者应该是已经到豪杰大厦以外的地方继续谋生。
虽然这个豪杰大厦的这个名称在很多年前都不是很正面，但是我们想在接下来的路程能把这个负面的这些都抛在脑后，让大家对豪杰大厦有一个重新的观念。